Hey guys, we've looked at a lot of 2D shapes, meaning triangles, quadrilaterals, and circles. But you may have noticed we haven't done one thing, and that's find the area or perimeter or anything like that. Well, that's what we're going to be looking at this unit. We're going to be starting with area this time. So you'll probably have to recall back, but remember back whenever you first learned about area. Area is the covering of a shape. So if you're going to cover maybe a wall with paint or a floor with the like tile or carpet or something like that, that is going to be the area. So if you're talking about a space here that we're trying to measure. So the first two shapes that we're going to look at, instead of throwing all these shapes together, we're going to kind of break it up and then kind of throw them all together there at the end. But we're going to look at parallelograms and triangles. So just basic, the area of parallelograms is going to be the base times the height. That's just it. Now you're thinking, well, which one is the base and which one is the height? I know with a rectangle, it doesn't really matter, but you know what we got going on here. Well, the height is going to have to be measured here, like this. It's going to have to be a 90-degree angle with the base. The height is going to be there. And then the base would be either one of those horizontal lines there. So that is going to be B. And if it were standing up, you would have something along the same lines. So just the base times the height. So this is also going to include rectangles, also squares, and rhombus. All right, so all those are going to fall under this same parallelogram for this formula. So it kind of encompasses a lot of things. Now let's look at the area of triangles. So the area of a triangle is kind of tricky for a couple of reasons. One is that you get so used to finding the area of parallelograms that you apply that to a triangle. Well, a triangle is actually just half of a parallelogram. So we can fit two triangles in any kind of order. If we kind of flip them over, that would fit onto a parallelogram. So it's just half of that. So the area of a triangle, you could work it two ways. You can say 1/2 times base times height, or you can say the base times height divided by 2. Now, base and height here are about the same as a parallelogram and rectangle. If we have a right angle, we just have height and we have the base. But if we have a triangle where you don't have a clear right angle, you will be marked the height or the altitude. If you remember back when we talked about the special segments of a triangle, we have the altitude. That's how tall it is. This is the height, and this is the base. So it's going to be marked for you in some way if it's not a right triangle. So those are the two formulas that we're going to use. So the first example here is a parallelogram, and we're given the height is 20.6, and we know that the base is 12.4. So just finding the area, it's going to be base times height. So the area is going to be 12.4 times, and I'm going to use the parentheses, but you can use the dot. Don't use the X though, times 20.6. So the area is going to be 255.44, and we have centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters squared. So very important that you keep those units there. And that's it. The next one that we have is just a triangle. So finding the area of this triangle here, I have to determine the base and the height here. So because I'm given 3 numbers. So what you'll notice is that I have the base here and the height here. This 22 we don't need, okay? Because it's not giving us any, it's just, that's a side. I don't need that. I just need the base and the height. So be aware of those because there's going to be some of those in your skill check there. So the area here is going to be half times the base times the height. So I can take half of the base, which is 30 times the height, or I can take half of the height, which would be 6 times 30. That makes it really easy to multiply out. And so I'm going to get 180 centimeters squared. So a lot of these, this half sometimes looks kind of scary, but you can take half of the 30 or you can take half of this 12 and then multiply it by the base and you're still going to get the same thing. But you can also do base times height, so 30 times 12 divided by 2, and you're still going to get 180. All right, next example. This time we're given the area and we have to find the height here. So the area is 84 centimeters. We're going to try to find the missing dimension. So in order to do this, I'm going to go ahead and write the area. I know this is a triangle and there's no like extra side length that I don't need. So I just have the base here and then the height is going to be the X there. So I know that the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So the area I'm going to plug in this time because before I was asked to find the area, but now I have the area. So I have 84 is equal to 1/2 times the base, which is 20, times the height, which now is X. We don't know it. So what I'm going to do, you can go ahead and multiply all those together. So I can take half of 20, that's going to give me 10, times X. Now just finding the value of X, divide by 10 on each side. And so 8.4 is going to be equal to X. That's going to be the height of our triangle there. And it looks like we're going to have centimeters there. So go ahead and make sure you mark that as well. So 8.4 centimeters is going to be the answer for X there. Okay, so now on example number 4, we have the area of the shape is 56. And so what is the value of X? So I know the area. This is a rectangle. It looks like it's not marked, but they should be marked. So area for a parallelogram / rectangle is going to be base times height. I know the area this time, so I'm going to plug it in. It's 56. The base, I'm going to say is 14, and I'm going to say the height is X plus 1. Does it matter which one you mark? Nope, sure doesn't, because you're still multiplying. Multiplying doesn't matter the order. So the base is 14 and the height is X plus 1. So I wrote this in parentheses on purpose, okay? Because I'm going to multiply. I have to multiply the whole expression by 14, not just X and not just 1. I have to do both of them by 14. So I'm going to have to distribute 14. So I have 56 is equal to 14X plus 14. Now it's a two-step equation. So I'm going to subtract 14 from each side. And so I'm going to get 42 is equal to 14X, divide by 14, and X is equal to 3. And it looks like centimeters there. All right, so some of these a little bit more straightforward. Just find the area, some of them finding X, but still just those two formulas is all you're going to be responsible for on this first skill check. And so now it is your turn to practice with that skill check.